Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the BBOL Podcast for episode 2. Thank you to anyone that watched episode 1, and this is the second episode of the podcast. So, last time we went over weeks 8, or no, just week 8 of the Humongous League, Junior League, and the Little League. This time, I think I'm going to go over weeks 9 and 10 of the Humongous League and all the 3 leagues. However, unlike last time, I also have a special guest with me, MontagnaMagica.
Hello. Yep, I'm here to add some commentary.
Thank you, Montagna. So, for anyone that doesn't know, Montagna here is a fellow Humongous Leaguer of mine, and it's an honor to have him on the show here. You have any thoughts with you being on the podcast here, Montagna?
Oh, just looking forward to talking about the games and nerding out.
Fair enough. So, you want to go over like the first off, I didn't even introduce myself. This is your host CRK here. Sorry about that.
Yes, we should be familiar with CRK at this point.
I guess. Well, I'm also doing this for like anyone that isn't in the BBOL, so that's why I like to introduce myself. Because I also
Uh,
post this to Reddit and my YouTube, so I feel like there's gonna be at least a few people if this gets like a few dozen views that haven't heard of the BBOL. If that makes sense.
I see.
So yeah, so Montagna, do you want to like go over like the games first, or what do you want to do?
Um, week 9, right?
Yeah, you want to go
Yeah,
over?
we can go over that.
Do you want to go over the backyard league or do you want to go over the front yard league? Although I kind of want to go over the backyard league because of a.
Okay, yeah, just whatever is consistent.
Looky here for the first game of the backyard league for week 9.
Yeah, don't remind me about that.
So yeah, so for the first game of the backyard league, it was Montagna here's Monsters heading over to my Bombers at Big City Stadium. We played, and yeah, I kind of won 6-0.
Technically, I was the home team, but we have the
Er,
same field.
yeah, yeah, fair. Technically true. We technically did have the same home field, but I'm pretty sure. But it was kind of a weird matchup. It was like a home game for both of us because we didn't really have different fields. It was kind of weird. But you want to talk about what happened, Montagna, or you want to just go
Just
over it?
I didn't have a lot of action on the bases. I only got 4 hits. Um, just couldn't get anything going.
Fair
And
enough.
yeah, CRK's new trade was pretty good because there were a couple of plays that it saved his team from allowing runs. Like there was a liner that was gonna score some runs early, and then Aegon was able to snag it, and he's faster than Ingrid, who was traded for them. So yeah, just frustrating.
I think I mentioned it in the last episode, but I did like a big trade. But either way, that's in the past now, though. It was like Lindsay for a bunch of players, but it's in the past now.
Yeah, I actually played the other half of CRK's trade the previous week.
Yeah,
So pretty much, I would say it was an upgrade to the Bombers' defense and more of an upgrade to the Marlins' offense.
yeah, mainly it. Anyways, is that enough about our game? You want to move on?
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say unless you do.
Yeah, I don't really have much either. So next up, we have week 2. We have. Do you want to do this like? Because I remember back in the backyard sports on our podcast, it was like Nate went over a game, then Wiz went over a game, and I think you went over our game. Do you want to do
Okay.
like
Yeah, so
over?
sure. Yeah, the next game was Casey's Hornets at Dirt Yards facing Uno's Padres. Score's a little hard to read. 5-3 Hornets. I actually didn't get to watch this one, did you?
I didn't because neither of them streamed, but I remember I'm pretty sure it was like a homer or two from Ahmed was the main difference in this one. I think KC was up like
Oh, that's right.
I think
Yep.
KC was up like 3-0 or something like that, but then Uno made a rally back because of the errors, which is pretty much trademark for him complaining about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, yeah. Yeah, Casey gets a nice win there though, and moves to, I think he moved to like 6-4, I think, or no, it was I think it was like
Uh,
5-5.
4-4.
Yeah, 4-4 after that one.
Yeah, that was their third win in a row, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty huge. When we go over the standings, you can see how tight it is.
yeah. Next up is Matitude's Pirates heading over to Can't Wait to Fly Giants in a really high scoring one here, 9-7, or Can't Wait to Fly his Giants winning this one 9-7.
Yeah, that was a surprising one.
I think this one also had this is also a bit of an unfortunate one because this one had like a lot of crashes, unfortunately.
It did. I only saw the last bit of it after probably their third or fourth reset.
I think I saw like all of it. They also did like some funny like word trivia like quizzes as well in it, which was funny. The
Ah,
Manitou
that's right.
did,
Yep.
and like Crazy and Hines joined in. It was fun.
It
I
was
s-
fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Almost forgot there was a really competitive baseball game going on. But
There were
the Giants are really unpredictable.
Yeah, we'll see later that the Giants are just kind of a weird team, honestly, because they have a ton of weird wins and losses. But yeah, but either way, I mean, Can't Wait to Fly is the second person to beat Matitude, and yeah, and there was just a solid win there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next game is Dr. Pecker's Cubs at Dirt Yards. Another Dirt Yards team is Diskey's Devil Rays. And it looks like the Rays take this one 2-1.
A bit of
So
a
they defend the
oh,
dirt.
sorry.
And the
Yeah.
Cubs are another unpredictable team.
Yeah, Pecker not getting this one done here, just barely losing to Diskey, who Diskey gets the nice win. Diskey is one of those weird ones where it feels like his team is a lot closer than what the record says. A lot of their losses, outside of like I think 2 losses, have been insanely close. It's honestly kind of interesting to look at. His team,
Yeah.
he has a
Six. Yeah, six one-run games so far.
Yeah, and it makes sense as his team is really good defensively, even at dirt yards. Just needs to produce some more offense though.
Yeah.
Next up was Whiff Spree getting the 1-0 W against Route 66. Super low scoring there. I think this one it doesn't say it on the sheet here, but Root and Whiff went to extras, I think, as well.
Oh, did it?
This was another game that involved many crashes, unfortunately. I think this one was
Yeah,
like
that's too bad.
this was another like late night stream. But Whiff with the bounce backs after going 0-2 in the first 2 weeks has been just rolling.
Hmm. So how many innings did that go?
I forgot the inning amount, but I think it was like 7 or 8. So I remember I think this stat card is actually wrong, by the way. I could have sworn it was like 2-1 or something when I watched it. But I
Weird.
could be
No.
wrong. I could be just dumb. I could be just misremembering it.
Still, it's a close one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next game is there was Expos playing at Playground Commons for Cruz Tigers. 7-0 is the final score. Uh, Actually, one of the worst games for the Tigers because one of their best attributes has been not allowing runs, but they allowed 7 there.
This is just another example of Luwas being at the top of the division, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, they're running away with it.
Well, it isn't like a necessarily a runaway right now, but we'll get to that in the standings. But
Yeah, but as I said, the Tigers don't allow a lot of runs. They've actually been pitching and playing pretty good defense. Their problem's
yeah,
mainly been they can't score.
yeah, that's the main thing with Kruh. It's like I know Kruh is just one of those guys that like I watch and I'm honestly really impressed and really happy with their how they pitch and their pitching style. It's just that they just don't have the run support for it though, which is the problem
Yeah,
with their team.
poor Henri needs some help.
Yeah, that's basically this poor Henri. just poor Henri. Basically, he can't do everything, unfortunately.
To be fair, Wally Evans is having a great season,
Yeah, true. I don't think I
getting the
meant
All-Star nod.
even in like my game against Krua, I was actually losing like 2-0 because of Wally Evans
Yep.
in the first couple of innings. Like Wally has just been incredible. Both Wally and Veronica have been having great seasons, as Veronica has also been great for me.
Now, Wally's got 3 home runs, 6 RBI.
Yeah,
That's the most for the
batting
Tigers. Actually,
for
no one. No. Mike Piazza's hit a home run.
True. But moving on, fortunate for Crowther. Moving on, we have a beatdown with HCI's Fishes winning 10-1 against Navy Caps Mariners, with HCI being away at Navy Caps home. Unfortunately, HCI just proving how good of a coach they are, putting on the smackdown on poor Navy. You got any
Oh
thoughts on
yeah,
this
that's the
one?
front yard league, by the way.
Oh yeah, fudge. I forgot to say it, but yeah, front yard. Yeah, this is the front yard league now. This may have been streamed, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I didn't see this one. It must have been when I was at work or asleep or something.
Yeah, I don't think I saw this one either. But yeah, Navy is one of the like. It's weird how I think I even mentioned this in like last episode. How it's weird how like only like half of us stream.
Hmm.
Like I don't know. It feels like there's a lot less streams this season, unfortunately.
Yeah, I used to not stream because I didn't want people watching my screen and learning too much about me. But at this point, most everyone knows all the tricks anyway. So the
Yeah.
other reason people don't stream might be just getting critical comments.
Yeah, maybe because like there's some people who don't like them, and also just some people just not wanting to like see them, just feeling discouraged because
Yeah,
like it feels like in general like the league has been a bit like I don't know dead. And I don't know, it feels like a lot of people don't stream. I stream because I like it, because I like gathering like a crowd and like everyone watching the game and like commentating like in the live chat. Which is why I adore to stream personally, and I stream all my games.
yeah, I think it's fun. I started enjoying it too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the you don't really see many streams anymore, so which is also one of the reasons why I like to stream, to get people to like to see just some backyard baseball online in the
Yeah,
HL.
that's why we're here ultimately. Give people
Yeah.
some entertainment.
Yeah. At the end of the day, even with how competitive it is, at the end of the day, this is still an optional league that you choose to sign up for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I also think just people that are watching need to be careful what they say because it can be discouraging to see comments or criticism. Maybe you can DM people if you have some legitimate criticism about, things they might have been doing wrong, but ultimately it can be discouraging. I've definitely seen some comments. People get pretty
Yeah.
heated, so that's probably why we haven't seen so much streaming.
Yeah, I remember like Nathan once saying that one reason why he doesn't like streaming is because he can feel the million backseating eyes watching him. Or at least I think he
Yeah,
said something along
exactly.
those lines. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. And I also have to admit that I also used to be pretty bad with that, unfortunately. I try and I don't really anymore. I try and keep it to myself. But and if I do have any advice, I'll take it to DMs. But I also used
Yeah,
to
for
do
sure.
that. Anyway, we got a bit sidetracked. You want to go over the next game?
Yeah, the next game is Nova's Marlins playing at Bok Choi's Red Sox Parks Department 2. So this one's actually a 4-2 win for the Marlins, trying to get their season back on track.
Yeah,
I
Loba.
think this one put them back to 500, possibly, maybe over. They're on the bubble playoff contention for sure.
Yeah, which you don't hear too often when
Well,
Loba's name is being discussed.
they have won 2 championships, but I'm pretty sure they always are a wild card team, or in other words, they aren't the top 2 seed. I don't believe.
I think outside of like season 1 or season 2, I think they made the playoffs in every season though. And it's not like just
Oh
like
yeah,
them and it's not like them just barely squeaking in. It's like them borderline like okay, they were a lock for the playoffs. Like last season, for
right.
example, they finished 11-3 and the second seed.
That was a really good season.
Yeah, Loba is just a proven player. He knows how to play, even if unfortunately he is having an off season this season. Ready. Next up we got a big one here. We have Killer Bats, or a big one for Killer Bat, the Orioles. We have Natastic 28's Saucy Reds, the Saucy Meme team, heading over to Killer Bat's Orioles at Parks Department number 2. Killer Bat putting on another big one here, 9-1 against those Reds.
I didn't see this one. Did you?
I think I saw it. I think Amanda had a home run in this game, and there was I think it was like close for a bit, but then Killer Bat just trailed away as just the runs kept piling on. Nate's having not the most amazing season, although it was better than his last time in the HO, which was season 5. And Killer Bat just showing how good he is again, pretty much.
Yeah, the next game is also Parks Department 2. I Mulligan's Royals at Trigatriz Blue Jays. This one was a 9-2 in favor of the Royals. So another game that wasn't too close.
This was a borderline statement game by I Mulligan. It was honestly kind of been skating under the radar when it comes to good
Oh
coaches.
yeah. Yeah, I looked at their team page and I was a little surprised at their record. Like it didn't feel like they're having that good of a season, but they are. They're in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, I don't think the playoff seeding for them has been set. I don't think they've clinched anything yet, but
No,
yeah,
not yet, but they're looking pretty good.
yeah, and and it's likely to happen. So, unfortunately, another case of Trigger not getting it done here. Hopefully, Trigger gets a win, but unfortunately, at least so far, this is heading to be his worst season, I think, which is unfortunate, as he's kind of struggled a lot. But hopefully, he gets some wins there, and hopefully, he can have a better second half, though. Yeah, and moving on to the next game, we have another unplayed one. It's kind of unfortunate that we're on week 11, or the first couple of days of week 11, and we still have two unplayed week 9 games. But this one was Orlando's Astros heading to Bowls FC Bowls, however you pronounce it. FC's Cardinals. Fortunately hasn't been played yet.
In a 0-0 draw. So they both get a point. Also, you missed a game.
Oh, I missed a game. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the one right above
der the
you.
for some reason I'm sorry guys, sorry to anyone listening to this. I missed a game. I for some
Oh
reason
yeah,
I
well, they're all at the same field here, so it gets confusing.
fair literally every single game except for the first and the last one is at Parks.
Yeah, that's the Parks division, and our division is the Big City Stadium division.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, Bog Fungus Wombats played at Germ Brits at Athletics. I think this one was actually a back and forth game. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I just looked over the live chat. It looked like it was a pretty close game.
Yeah, I also didn't watch this one, but Nathan getting the nice 7 runs there. It's a good output for their Wombats who've been doing all right. They've been it hasn't been the best season for Nathan standards, but they've still been doing all right. Unfortunately, Germbret struggling to get wins, but there's still a bit of season left. They're not eliminated yet.
Yeah, from everything I could gather, this was a pretty close game.
Yeah. Now moving on to week 10 with the Backyard League. Ooh, we got another game of mine, and it's me talking about it for this round. So my game against Una, which happened actually a couple of days ago, I streamed it. I won 5-0. Me and my bomber or Uno's Padres headed over to my Bombers at a big city stadium, and I put up the 5 splatter, and I gave up none. I think you watched that one, right?
Yeah, yeah, you did a good job rotating in the right pitchers at the right time, pretty much neutralizing their offense. Very frustrating game if you're a Padres fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
honestly, it felt like a repeat of your game against me.
kind of in a way, I guess. You and
Yeah,
you
it
and
was the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the main portion of this one was I think me neutralizing Pete was the main one with this one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. Actually, your team hasn't allowed any runs since the trade.
Yeah, that is true. I It is notable because I think I've had like three shutouts in a row now.
Yeah, yeah, that infield is insane.
A slight spoiler for a week 11, but Uno unfortunately with a bit of a losing streak with the second loss in a row. Unfortunately, I hate to say, it, but I think with all the hype that surrounded around him, I unfortunately think that it's kind of coming down to earth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair to say. But they're still in a good position to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay, they're the next game, huh?
you want me to talk about it? Because I know how you felt about this one.
I'm curious to hear what you'll say because you did watch it. Yeah, I was up 3-0 and pretty much just blew it. But I was up 3-1 and I had two outs in the sixth, and it all just fell apart. Starting with the dropped, should have been game-ending catch, and then just a couple other fumbles. I probably could have avoided one of them looking back, but I was just so shocked at the time that it totally threw off my focus. So yeah, really, really sucked. But that's baseball for you.
I mainly blame you pitching high to Serena at the end there.
Yeah, yeah. If you really want to analyze it, that didn't make sense.
It's like I remember literally when I was watching that because I saw the collapse live, well, borderline collapse live, and I was like, pitch it low, grounder, and it's over in my
Yeah.
head. It was a bit unfortunate to watch, but Casey gets the win though, and I think Casey is another one that also has had a bounce back, like Whiffer we said mentioned earlier. Ready. Next up we have Cruz Tigers heading over to Whiff Spree as Melonheads. Really close one here, somewhat high scoring game. The Melonheads wiping the sweat off their melon head, I guess, with the winning 5-4 against Cruz Tigers, with just barely scraping by here.
Did you watch that one?
Yeah, I watched it, and I actually think Crow was in the lead for a bit here, but then I'm pretty sure like it started off with like a 2-out rally, started with Kenny getting a single, Kenny Kawaguchi, the wheelchair man, getting a
Nice.
starting a rally. Then I think he scored like 3 to 4 runs. Then I think Kruh actually made it close. I think it was actually like bases loaded with the last at bat with like 1 out in the last inning, and I think like Henri and then Randolph were up, or Randolph
Oh
and
wow.
Henri or some was up. Then I think Henri either popped out or struck out, and then Randolph hit into a double play to end it for
Oh man. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, once again, man, Craw just playing it solid. If he could actually, although the defense unfortunately didn't play too insanely well this game, if he could actually if he could score runs, he probably would have a lot more success. But unfortunately, he hasn't yet. But once again, I do wish that Craw would get a win eventually, though, because he's been a great addition to the community, though, in all these
Yeah.
chats and all the streams and
I
whatnot.
wish they would have gotten that win specifically, but it's okay.
Yeah, you and KC both wish that.
Yeah. Well, I got some messages from with Spree because we're scheduling our next game. They said the defense was on point, catching everything. Krez eye was great, multiple hard hits. They had the bases loaded twice with 0 or 1 outs.
Yeah, I remember that. I also think it was also a big homer from like Xena or someone also sealed that one for Whiff Spree or helped him at least. So yeah. You got anything else to say about that game?
Nope. Next game was the Route 66 Indians at Lilwas Expos. Two teams that don't exist in MLB anymore. So they played at Cement Gardens and actually pretty high scoring. Expos scored 8 to win it 8-2. Well, this was also an away home game because the Indians play at the same field.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was basically a free home game for Lilwaz's schedule. For both the teams' schedule. Actually, no, for
Yeah.
Root schedule, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but next up we have Diski's Devil Rays heading over to Matitude's Pirates. Matitude putting up a Trace, and Diski putting up, what's a zero in Spanish again?
Zero.
Zero. Is that correct?
Zero. Yeah, with a C.
Yeah, Cero. Yeah, Diski unfortunately putting up a Cero against Matt's Pirates. I'm not sure. I think I forgot how the runs were scored because this one was streamed. But once again, Diski falling a bit short. But Matitude, just another good team, and just once again, just showing what good coaches coaching good teams do, as Matitude pulls off the win.
Marcellus with 2 doubles and a homer.
Yeah, Marcellus with a borderline MVP campaign, if not straight up MVP campaign. Yeah, 690 average with 7 home runs. But anyways, that's more so on the stats, which we'll get on, which we may get into later. Yeah, but next up we have do you want to go over this one?
So the Can't Wait to Fly as Giants playing Dr. Pecker's Cubs. Looks like that one was 10-0. Was that the 5 inning game? I think they
Maybe.
called that in 5.
Yeah, it was just a smackdown by Pecker's Cubs. Pecker's Cubs getting the bounce back win after the loss last week to Diski, and unfortunately Tufi got kind of crushed, but Pecker gets a win. The Cubs get the win.
Those are two of the most unpredictable teams facing off.
Yeah,
I don't
easily.
know if either of them have they yet either played any close games. I feel like they've all been blowouts one way or the other.
Yeah, I think so. Let me see. Okay.
Well,
Oh
Can't
no.
Wait to Fly has played some close games, but the Cubs, I don't know.
Yeah, it's the troubles with drafting high
I
offense,
mean,
no defense.
I would have expected a close game, but Cubs just ran away with it.
Just the Cubs did what the Cubs did. Moving on to the front yard league, we have a somewhat close game, somewhat not close game because of the field. We have Bok Choi's Red Sox heading over to HI's Fishes, and HI getting the dub, rolling along. HI getting the 3-1 win over the Red Sox. I'm not sure what
Let's see
else.
the stats on this one.
I'm not really sure what else. I'm not really sure what the stats are, but I think I saw this one on the scoreboard, but I kind of forgot what like exactly happened.
Apparently, Mr. Clanky hit a homer. I don't know if that was out of the park or in the park.
Cue people in the comments saying AI slop.
For Clanky.
Yeah, for the clanker slop.
I wouldn't blame that robot in particular. He's just a baseball machine.
True.
I don't think he connects to the internet.
I know. He was the AI, the clanker before the clanker memes.
I do wonder how that home run happened. I could definitely see him cheesing all the way around the bases.
Yeah, and Bach
But
either.
he has a
Yeah,
decent bat, so or it has a decent bat,
I think it's a
so
he.
maybe I guess.
I mean, it had
But the
literally, it's
robot,
literally Mister Clanky, Mister.
that is true. Well, yeah, he has a decent bat, so who knows? I wish I watched that.
Yeah, me too. Although I don't think either of them streamed. Unfortunately, come on, people, we need these streams.
Ooh, yeah, stream your games. Yeah. Next game says it was a 3 inning game. That's interesting. So Navy Caps Mariners come to dirt yards, scored 5 runs, and then I guess in 3 innings they called it.
This one, because I saw it live, I think Lobo was just getting tired, unfortunately. He had something to do, and it was like the third inning, and he was like, okay, just call it, pretty much.
Huh.
He just unfortunately
Okay.
has he just unfortunately just has not been happy with how his season is going, so he just wanted to call it, basically.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
mean, 5-0 is not a huge lead at dirt yards, but okay. I'm sure Navy Cap was relieved to get the win there.
Yeah, definitely. That was a pretty big win there, honestly. Getting a win against Sloba is no easy task. Next up, we have, come on, people. 3
Ah,
played-less games in a row.
wow. Yep.
Actually, no. Hold on. Actually, yes. I think it's a bit weird with the Germbrat versus Orlando game, but the other two haven't been played. So yeah,
Oh,
Bowls.
yes. Germbred Orlando. I believe that has been played, but it's controversial.
Yeah, because it's like a tiresome, but Germbrat just wanted to get it over with, I think.
Yeah, so I guess we're really never going to know because I don't think either of them recorded it. But
Yeah.
according to Orlando Stars, it was a tag glitch and Pablo should have scored. And Jornbread, I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't a tag glitch, like if he's claiming that Pablo should have been out, then it's a tie game and they should finish the game. But I don't know what the admins are going to decide to do on that.
Yeah, it's a
If
weird
I were
one.
Jornbread, I'd want to finish the game.
Yeah, but I think Germbrat,
And I mean,
unfortunately, just I think Germbrat, unfortunately, just the passion has left his body or has left their body.
that's
Unfortunately,
dramatic, but yeah,
I don't think they're having fun anymore on it. Unfortunately, so I think they
yeah,
just
yeah.
left or they just I think they've went on and said that they aren't gonna leave because they don't want to be rude, but they aren't playing anymore to but they're playing at this point just to get the season over with. Unfortunately, and I think this is
That's
another
too
case
bad.
of
But
it.
honestly, I hope they give the league another chance. Play in the junior league, maybe see what happens.
Yeah, because Germbrat was another weird one because they was another somewhat weird one because they kind of went to the HO a bit fast. I don't think they even had a playoff season last season in the junior league, and they made it to the HO.
Yeah, I think technically the gauntlet game was an upset. I think it was
Yeah,
extra fun.
yeah,
Not a huge upset by any means, but technically.
and it also didn't help that there were 11 spots in there, so it took a lot less effort for someone to get into the HO. I hate to be rude, but I unfortunately think that Germbrat just wasn't ready, if that makes sense.
It's probably fair, but I just hope they don't get too discouraged.
Yeah. And I unfortunately feel like it's the consequences of how big that gauntlet was, or how many HL spots there were up for grabs. Because I feel like
Hmm.
Germbrit would have had a lot better of a be having a lot better of a season right now if they were in the JO, or would be having a lot more fun if they were in the junior league.
Probably, yeah, I would think so. But they do have a couple wins, and it's not like every game's a blowout. I remember back in week 4, they played a close one against Whiffsbury,
Yeah, and they've been and
and I think they were up 5-0 on Bok Troy before all the other runs scored.
yeah, and they actually and they have the win against Mulligan, like, and they started like 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, the other two games that haven't been played were Bowls FC's Cardinals heading over to Nathan's Wombats and Triggertriz's Blue Jays heading over to Natastic 28's Reds. Let's just get your games in, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. The schedules just don't line up. It is funny that the Front Yard League is missing all the games. Backyard League.
Meisenheimer League again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Literally, because that's how it was last season as well.
The last game, Killer Bats Orioles come to Steel Stadium to take on the Royals, and their bats didn't do anything apparently. So they put up 0. I Mulligan scored 1 run. That's all they needed.
Yeah, a huge win for IMO again there, taking down Killer Bats.
That is a big one.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, and I think like Killer Bat just Mulligan just pitched super well. I think it was a Pamela bomb or some that solidified it. and
Wow.
Killer Bats just weren't active this game, and Mulligan got the win.
Huh.
Yeah, I think
That actually moves them up to third place.
yeah, it started out as a runaway, but now the standings are getting a bit closer there. No one has a loss, or no one's undefeated.
You're right.
Yeah, but that's it for weeks 9 and 10. You want to move over to the standings now?
Yep. Looking at them right now.
Yes. So right now at the front of Backyard League, we have it's technically we didn't go over the week 11 games right now, but there have been a couple of them that are like one or two that have been played. So yeah, at the top we have the only person that's clinched right now at 10 and 1 is Lil Waz's Expos. Then we have My Bombers right behind them at 8 and 2 in the second first round bye section. Then third place we have Whiffspree at 8 and 2. Whiffsey's Melonheads at 8 and 2. Then we have the Pirates of Matitude at 7 and 2 and fourth. Then we have KC's Hornets at fifth, 6 and 4. Then we have the Padres of Uno at 6 and 5. Then right outside the playoff line, we have Can't Wait to Fly's Giants at 6 and 5 as well. A bunch of like four teams in a row with 5 losses exactly here. Technically, Pecker should be 6, but it's a bit out of date. Then we have Your Monsters, MontagnaMagica's Monsters at 5 and 5. Then we have Dr. Pecker's Cubs at 5 and 5. Then we have Disky at 3 and 7, and then unfortunately eliminated from playoff contention, and right now in the relegated to JL zone. We have Route 66's Indians at 2 and 9, and unfortunately at the rear we have Cruz Tigers at 0 and 10. So it's still pretty close. Unfortunately, there's already 2 eliminated teams, and well, both fortunately and unfortunately, Lil Waz is already clinched, but there's still plenty of playoff spots for grabs up in here.
Yeah. Even Disky is not out of it, but they definitely have the hardest road to come back. But they're still on the mix technically, but yeah, it's going to be tough. For me, I also have a pretty tough uphill battle to make the playoffs because KC's probably not going to lose again. They might, but I don't know. Plus, they have the tiebreaker over me.
I can see KC losing to Matt or I can see him losing to Matt or Nathan
Yeah, but even so, that wouldn't be enough for me.
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's looking like 8 and 6 is the minimum, but you probably need to be 9 and 5 to be sure to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that is
Eight and
true.
six, you'd have to have some key tiebreakers, which would go to KC and Uno most likely.
Yeah, which would most likely go to Whiff, me, Casey, or Uno for that last spot. Tiebreakers.
There is an interesting scenario if Can't Wait to Fly can continue winning, and if I continue winning, we could see some kind of three-way tie shenanigans. Can't Wait, Casey, and myself.
Yeah, because obviously Can't Wait to Fly
It's a
has
rock
the
paper scissors kind of a situation.
because obviously I mean you have the tiebreaker of Can't Wait to Fly. Yeah, but Can't Wait to Fly has a win against KC, but obviously KC has the win against you. So it's like a weird situation.
Yeah, that's going to be a good race. The race for Sace, as I call it.
Yeah.
I stole that from the Spurs, if anyone's wondering.
Oh.
Basketball team.
Too bad Alexis Weiss
White.
isn't in here because her name, if you replace it with an S, it's Sace. Her name. Yeah, too bad she's on Trigatriz's team. But yeah, I can see like Uno Uno has a good chance of bouncing back, but Uno has, fortunately for you, kind of been on a losing streak though. So I don't know. It's just tough though because Casey and Uno, it'll be hard for them to be dethroned if that makes sense.
Also worth considering is Matitude. Yes, they started strong, but they do have a very tough schedule to close it out.
Yeah, and also
So they're not safe by any means.
I guess technically I'm also technically not clinched yet, but I feel like I'm probably gonna make it in. Yeah, but
Yeah, technically you haven't clinched either, but everyone believes in you. Also, you have a good chance to clinch a first round bye.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna depend on next week mainly.
Of course.
Yeah, my game against Matitude, which I actually have messages from Matitude right now, is gonna be huge for
Hmm,
that, I think.
nice.
Yeah.
Must watch TV. So let's look at the front yard league. So this one, playoff contention line is looking at 5-5 right now. So HC3 is leading the pack 9-1. Killer Bats second, 8-2. Then we have our potential wildcard teams. High Mulligan 6-4. Orlando Stars 5-2. Only 7 games played. Okay. Loba and Bog Fungus and Bok Choy 3-way tie. Only 2 of them can make it in though. And then Navy Caps sitting at 4-7. Nate Tastic 3-6. Germbret 2-7. And then our last 2 bowls 0-8. Trigger Triz 0-9.
First off, the sheet is slightly out of date as Trigger should be eliminated, I think. Because Trigger unfortunately has losses to both to at least 6 teams, I think. There might be a stupid tiebreaker situation, but I don't know.
So yeah, so they could get 5 wins. But in the process, I don't know if mathematically it's possible.
Yeah, because they have losses against Bok Choy, Nathan, and I think and also Orlando Stars.
And some of those coaches are going to be playing each other. So yeah, you might be right.
Yeah,
But
so yeah, and I think like Bok Choy and Navy still have to play, and have Navy and Trigger played? Yeah, and Trigger lost to Navy.
so really, the fight for Trigger Triz is try to get placed in the gauntlet again. Otherwise, they'll have to play all the way from the beginning of the gauntlet, which they've
Again.
done before. Maybe that's the most fun thing is winning the gauntlet every time.
I
Perennial
mean,
gauntlet winner.
the undefeated gauntlet champion Trigatriz. He just I feel bad for the poor guy. He just makes it. Trigatriz is one of the coaches that has the most respect for me in the league. From me in the league, just they always struggle. They always have the bad seasons in the HL, but they always make it back to the HL. They always
Yeah,
work their way through the gauntlets.
that is funny. I'd never thought of it that way until I said it, but I don't know if they've ever lost a gauntlet game. They might have lost a couple of pool games here and there, but
I don't think they have actually. Trigger is just a trooper, and gotta respect him for that.
hmm
I think Bowles is also probably not making it in, unfortunately. They still have a few games left.
yeah, we need a miracle. I don't know if they're mathematically out, but
Yeah,
pretty much.
Bowles needs some more Kurt Schilling home runs.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happened.
yeah, that happened.
No power ups, just boom.
Just a bomb from Kurt Schilling. Wasn't even a weak shot. Wasn't even like a weak like sauce like Parks Department homer. It was just a bomb that would have went over almost any fence.
With a big city stadium homer.
I honestly think that would have went over the Play on Commons fence maybe, and it definitely would have went over
Wow.
Ekman.
Pretty impressive. And
Yeah.
that's why we should not have a DH.
Yep, perfect example there because Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson, if there was a DH in this game, would be that. You know,
No, we wouldn't have magical moments like that.
I've always wondered how it would look if we had like a DH, if we had like a designated hitter and like a designated fielder in this game. Like, how would that work?
It
Like,
would be interesting. I would hate it, but it would be interesting for sure.
it would be interesting if we had like 11-player teams with like a designated hitter and a designated well, no, like a designated hitter. So like person that only bats, but also a designated fielder or like pitcher or fielder that only plays the field. I think that would be interesting.
Have a pitcher waiting on the bench,
Yeah,
or maybe a late inning defensive substitution.
yeah, I think it would be really interesting. I think players like the Z's, players like Fred and Jane, Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling. A lot of like the defense only and a lot of the offense only players would definitely have a lot more value. And if that happened, like Randy and Joan would probably become first rounders.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Because with
But we
Randy,
are getting super sidetracked.
yeah, true. But because like Randy, for example, you could only have him pitch and not have him bat, whereas Joan, you could only have her bat and not have her field. It would be really interesting.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Anyways, you want to look? I once again, as I said last video, I mean, like, just don't feel discouraged, guys, if you're outside the playoff race, and there's still some season left, but it's definitely gonna be an interesting race. So, you want to head over to the league leaders tab, if there's anyone in particular you want to look at.
How
Uh,
about Rose Flugel with 5 doubles?
that, yeah, that is same with Sophie with also 5 doubles. Although I'm pretty sure Sophie's might be more of like, I think both those might be more like ground rule doubles though.
Yeah. For Rose, it's just me mashing the mouse buttons. I'm pretty much just taking second base while people are trying to throw me out at home.
Fair enough.
But yeah, just having another good season for me.
There's a lot of people tied for the most runs scored. I'd say that Susan and Ken are probably the most surprising. Surprising, not a lot of super fast guys. Surprised to not see people like Julie and Lindsay up here,
Yeah,
or like Pete.
yeah, runs scored looks like a lot of home run hitters. Got some fast guys on there, but yeah,
I'm also surprised by it because Star is leading singles with 20 singles, by the way. Yet she isn't in like the fifth amount of hits. Yet she isn't leading in runs scored, which is
it says
surprising, by
she
the way.
has 20 singles. But yeah, she hasn't been making it all the way around the bases there.
Which is really surprising.
Wasn't when she was on Loba's team, she broke the all-time record for stolen bases. What was that?
Like I think it was like
You remember?
19 or 20. It was like season 6.
Wow. Yeah, she has 3 stolen bases so far.
I'm not gonna go over like the strikeouts and the errors and whatnot because I don't want to put anyone on blast. Yeah. Oh, and also, it's also been a lot of domination by Marcellus, by the way. He's been having a borderline MVP campaign.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, top of total bases with 52, top of the batting average was 0.69, top of slugging percentage, and top of on base plus slugging, and on top of runs created. It's pretty insane. Batters, when it comes to pitching, we don't really have. We have Yeah, we have Angela for both batter space and runs allowed.
Yeah.
EV
Angela and
Stone.
Mandy are having the most outstanding seasons given where their players were drafted. Like Angela, she's known for being a pitcher, but compared to some of the pitchers in the game, she's really not that impressive. But yeah, she's having a great season.
And it also sucks how bad of a fielder she is, which also just holds her down in general.
Yeah, and then Mandy Coolidge also having a great season. And she doesn't even have Cal on her team.
Yeah, Nathan doesn't have Cal on his team. Cal with Mandy has sort of died in the recent seasons. It's been a
It's
while.
ironic because the way Cal's fallen in the draft, you could pretty easily draft both of them now.
Yeah, or at least trade for them. Yeah, yeah. Kurt
Oh,
also
Holly
having.
Franklin, 1.61 ERA, second best in the league.
Ooh, yeah, but same with also with Frank, although I think it also doesn't help, by the way, that Frank doesn't really have a lot of like games like played. Although I guess ERA isn't really games played related, it's more so like averaged. So
No, but
yeah.
it's a smaller sample size, but he does have pretty far and away the lowest ERA.
Yeah.
1.1. That's good.
Yeah, pretty insane. Yeah, and then so yeah. Other than that, though, like there aren't really any like big. Angela having a really good season with least pitch thrown. She does have the least batter's face, but she has like less hits allowed. Other than that, not really many like big standouts from what I can see. Once again, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try and avoid like talking about the bad stats to not put anyone on blast.
I will say if you go over to team stats, look at runs scored. It's pretty dominated by the backyard league. We're just scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah, you're
Other than the
right.
Fishes sitting at the top there.
Well, there's the Red Sox or the Orioles and the Fishes, but outside of that, yeah. So, as for pitching stats, like none really that insane. I don't think either. The Astros are dominating, but they kind of have a few less games played.
Yeah, smaller sample size,
But I think is that it for the HO?
pretty much. Just worth
Right.
mentioning the All Star game we put together.
Oh yeah, we did that. We did that. Yeah, it was very fun. It was me against Killer Bats and HI against Luwas. I think I just barely squeaked out of it like 9-8, just for like HI to beat Luwas like 3-1 or something. It was very intense and very fun though.
Yeah, I like the format too. So we had a group chat for something else, baseball related, but Killer Bat comes in saying, "Hey, you want to play an All Star game?"
And everyone's
And
like,
that's
yeah,
always been something I wanted to do,
yeah.
and we just put something together. I like the format.
It's
Pretty
like them.
much play 2 games with 4 coaches, and the cumulative score between both games, um, you see who wins overall. So you get to pick 36 characters overall, so you get to represent at least every team. I think it's a good format. I hope we can do it again next season.
Yeah, it's also been something that I've also wanted to do along with this podcast for a while.
It's a passion project.
Yeah, it's a passion project, which people don't want to do it because it takes time out of
Well,
their
yeah,
day.
yeah.
But
People are busy, so
yeah, yeah, but we did it, and then we got it done. It was a lot of fun, and
it
Pecker
was
was
it was
also
very entertaining. It's definitely worth the watch, although we did just spoil it. So
yeah. I if it's still up there, I forgot. I'm not sure if the VOD is still on there, unless that was
they should put
saved.
it on YouTube.
Yeah, Jibbo, if that VOD is still there, put it up. Please, please. Not to be rude, please.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Is that it for you, Montagna?
Yeah, I gotta go to bed. It's my
Ready.
bedtime.
Ready. Good night.
Thanks for having me on.
Ready. No problem, man. Appreciate talking to you.
Yep, it was fun.
Ready. Thank you, man. Goodbye. And there goes Montagna. I appreciate having him on for this episode. So that was about it for the HO. So Junior League week 9. We have so week 9 first matchup was Chargeider's Fishes heading over to Watsatuya's Rangers. It is a bit weird how now I'm having to dry this because now, well, borderline dry this since now I'm not with someone because now it's not me and Montagna talking. But either way, we got Chargeider's Fishes with a big matchup heading over to Watsatuya's Rangers over at Dirt Yards. Watsatuya getting the low scoring win here, 1-0, and a solid win for Watsatuya. Next up, we got Perky Pellin's Monsters heading to Isaiah's Hornets, Parks Department number 2-1. Perky putting the big 8-1 win against Isaiah, and that's about it. Next up, we have a super low scoring one with the Super Colossal Dome. We have Stern Wizard's Angels heading over to Ben Bath & Beyond's Devil Rays, and Stern Wizard putting up 2 runs to Ben Bath & Beyond's 1, and Stern Wizard getting the win, getting another win into the win column. Next up, we have Mike's Tigers heading over to DH34's Dodgers. Mike getting the win, 4-2. Mike has been struggling a bit, so that was a good win for them. Next up, we have Extra Funds Rockies heading over to Depp's Wombats. Depp getting the another close win here, with Depp getting the 2-1 win against Extra Funds Rockies, and yep, good win for them. Next up, we have Big Red TCJ's Monsters heading over to DOW's Athletics with Big Red TCJ getting the big win, 3-1 here. Might be nice for tiebreakers later down the line. Ready? That's Backyard League for week 9 done. Next up, week 9 for the Front Yard League. We have a bit of a low scoring one here with Siren getting the win against Balloon 2-0 with Balloon heading over to Siren's Big City Stadium. Balloon's Phillies heading over to Big City to face Siren, and Siren getting the win. They've been struggling, so that was a good one. Next up, we have Knicks White Sox heading over to Wilf the Gods Yankees. Wilf getting the defensive 1-0 victory at Steel Stadium, a team that they built their team for, and they got the win. Next up, we got a bit of a higher scoring one, although not too high scoring. We have Uncle Pepper's Red Sox going over to K1D's Cardinals. Uncle Pepper staying undefeated, wins that one 9-4. Then next up, we have for the third to last one of week 10 or week 9, we got Matt 95's Expos heading over to Crazy 8's Melon Reds, or just the Reds, but just as a homage to my man Explorer Z, I'm gonna call them the Melon Reds. And Matt getting the 9-1 win, or no, not 9-1, 6-1 win, and remains rolling. Next up, we have this was one that I remember I saw. It went to multiple extra innings, but next up we had JTS's Pirates heading over to Cement to Russell's Indians, getting the bit of a controversial one here. Huge extra inning game here with JTS getting the 4-2 win. And for the last game of the week 10, we have ASD's Mets heading over to Bayo's Blue Jays. ASD winning this one 7-2. That's about it for a week 9. Heading over to week 10, we have Isaiah's Hornets heading over to Chargeider's Fishes, and I think this is a free home game for the Fishes. I think they also play at Parks, unless I'm wrong. The Fishes of a Chargeider getting the 3-1 win. Unfortunately, Isaiah is struggling a bit, but hopefully they can do better later. Next up, we have an upset. We have What's a 2 Years Rangers heading over to Perky Pelicans Monsters at Parks Department, and Perky getting the nice win here, 6-2. Next up, we have a really low scoring game here. We have DLW's Athletics heading over to Extra Fun's Rockies. The 1-0 Steel Stadium W for the Rockies of Extra Fun. And Extra Fun kind of putting them on a little bit of a bounce back here, because I know that they struggled a bit in the early bits of the season, but he might be catching on to some steam. So yeah, but moving on, next up we got Depp's Wombats heading over to Big Red TCJ's Melonheads at Ekman Acres. And another close one. There's a lot of close ones this week. We have with Big Red TCJ getting the 2-1 victory at the very defensive Ekman Acres. Yeah, Depp not getting it done, but Big Red TCJ getting it done here, 2-1. For the second to last game, we have DH34's Dodgers heading over to Stern Wizards Angels at Tin Can Alley. Another really close one. We have Stern Wizards Angels winning this one, putting up the one spot, which isn't a very good score. Well, putting up one isn't awful. It's better than putting up nothing, but usually you're going to need to score more than that, but apparently not this time, as they get the 1-0 victory and shut out the Dodgers of DH34. Next, we've got Ben Bath Beyond's Devil Rays heading over to Mike's Tigers. Ben Bath Beyond getting another win. Oh, no, they didn't win week 9, but Ben Bath Beyond getting the bounce back win 3-0 against Mike's Tigers. Another defensive game and another shutout for a team. Next up, we have the Front Yard League. We have Wilf the Gods Yankees heading over to Balloons Phillies. Wilf winning 7-1 and beating a solid team in the Phillies. Wilf is another one that's kind of coming on hot in the later half of the season, as I'm pretty sure they're 4-6 right now, but we'll get to that. Next up, we have Sirens Bombers heading over to Knicks White Sox. The Cement Gardens, Nick putting up 5 runs to Sirens 1. Nick getting the good win there and puts him in a solid spot. Unfortunately, we have 2 unplayed games here with Bayo's Blue Jays heading over to JTS's Pirates at Big City, and Red Russ's Indians heading over to ASD's Mets at Parks Department. Unfortunately, neither of these have been played, so I'm going to skip over them. But for the second to last game, we have Crazy Eight's Melon Reds heading over to Uncle Pepper's Red Sox. Uncle Pepper keeping the undefeated streak alive, barely edging out Crazy here, 2-1 at a pretty defensive game and a pretty low scoring game and a pretty tight one. Seemed like this one. I unfortunately didn't get to see this one, but this one looked like it would be a good matchup. Next up, we have just another beatdown by Matt. Even though he technically has a loss right now, Matt once again just proven to be probably the most feared coach in the junior league right now. With Matt's beating poor K1D 13-1 with K1D visiting Matt's Expos at Parks Department. Just a big blowout win there. Surprised it wasn't a mercy rule unless it was the final inning before that was called. So with the Week 9 and the Week 10 matchups out of the way, let's head over to the standings. So we have Stern Wizard at 9-1, Stern Wizard's Angels at 9-1, What's a Two Years Rangers at 9-2. Then we have right at third, we have right out of the first round bye section, we have Chargeider's Fishes at 7-3. Big Red TCJ's Melonheads at a bit of a jump down at 6-5 in the fourth spot. Then we have Depth's Wombats at 5-5 at fifth place. Then in the last playoff slot, we've got Perky Pelican's Monsters at a 5-5 in sixth place. Then just outside of the playoffs, we got Extra Fun's Rockies at 5-6. Then we have Ben Bath Beyond's Devil Rays at 4-6. Next up, we have right inside the Gauntlet section, we have DOW's Athletics at 4-7. We have DH34's Dodgers at 3-8 right after them. Then unfortunately at the end we have Mike's Tigers at 2-8 and Isaiah's Hornets at 1-10. So I unfortunately don't really have much else to comment. I think I said most of what I said last episode a couple of weeks ago, and unfortunately it's kind of remained similar to what I said. But once again, just keep your heads up, guys. So onto the front yard, we have should be clinched Uncle Pepper at 10-0. Unfortunately, the sheet's a bit out of date. So Uncle Pepper in the Red Sox rolling like usual. Then we have the Expos of Matt 95 at second place, also in the first round bye slot. Then we have the Balloons Phillies at 7-3 at third. Although unfortunately, Balloon has kind of been on a losing streak, but they've won so many games already that it's going to be hard for them to not be in the playoffs. Next up, we have JTS's Pirates at fourth at 6-3. Then at fifth, we have Crazy Eight's Reds at 6-4. Then at sixth, unfortunately a bit behind, we have ASD's Mets at 4-5, and we have also at 4-5, although slightly outside the playoff line, with Red Russ's Indians at 4-5. Then next up we have Wolf of the Gods Yankees at 4-6. Then right inside the Gauntlet area we have Nick's White Sox at 4-6. Then we have K1D's Cardinals at 3-7. Then we have Bayo's Blue Jays and Siren's Bombers, unfortunately at the rear. Although they aren't even doing that badly yet. Bayo's Blue Jays being 2-7, 11th place, and Siren's Bombers at 2-8 and last place, unfortunately. So I mean, nobody's really even doing that badly. I don't think anyone, unless there's something I'm missing, nobody's eliminated currently in the Front Yard League, although I'm pretty sure Uncle Pepper is clinched. So I'm pretty sure that's mainly it for the standings right now. On to the league leaders. So, I mean, I can't really see any standout so far. So looking at it, well, Jane is having a good season, but and Susan is also doing really good. But outside of that, I can't really see anything else here. I'm going to try and not look at the negative stats too much to not put anyone on blast. Lindsay having an insane season, though, it seems. She has the most amount of total bases, the best batting average, the best on-base percentage, the best slugging percentage, the best on-base plus slugging percentage, and the most amount of runs created. Holy moly. Wow. What a stat line. The last one, two, three, four, five, six stat lines are all Lindsay at the top. Wow. On to the pitching stats we have. Seems like it's mainly between Omar and Diana right now, and let me look at some of these. Although Diana right now leading in both ERA and WHIP. Well, no, she's actually second in ERA, but she's second in ERA and the lowest in WHIP. So, and yeah, but right now it seems like it's mainly between Omar and Diana for a lot of these. And yeah, that's mainly it for the junior league stats. Once again, I'm not going to go over some of these negative stats. And no one's had a perfect game, and no one's had a hit for the cycle. So with that being said, that's about it for the junior league. Next up, moving on to the Little League. First off, for week 9, we have Whooper's Pirates heading over to Jasmine's Wombats at Super Colossal Dome, 5-0 victory. Then then next up we have Bedou's Reds heading over to Theo Epstein's Twins, also at Super Colossal Dome. Bedou getting the nice 3-1 win there. Then we have a close one with between Kirisu's Phillies heading over to Tristan's Cubs. Tristan just barely getting the 5-4 win. Then next up we have Miki Momo's Cardinals heading over to Tusk Healers Blue Jays at Dirt Yards. The high scoring one here with Miki Momo getting the 8-6 win. Next, we have a forfeit. Devil Dave getting the forfeit win against Caden. I don't know what happened here, but I don't know if it's just a scheduling issue. Someone quit. I don't know what happened here, but Devil Dave gets the forfeit win against Caden. Then next up, we have Andy Roo getting it done 2-0 against Mike Madness's Mets. Mike Madness heading over to Andrew's Angels at Big City and not being able to get it done here against Andy. But Andy getting it done 2-0. Moving on to the week 9 front yard matchups, we've got honorable mention putting up 4 against Notorious Puns Indians at Parks Department number 2, and Notorious Puns Indians put up a 7, which is enough, and to get the 7-4 victory. Next up, we've got Maddie Sam's Melonheads heading over to Lillian's Orioles. Maddie getting the winning by 6, getting the 7-1 victory. So winning 6 because 7 minus 1 is 6. Yep, with Maddie getting the win. Next up, we have another forfeit game here. We have Mad Math Students Bombers heading over to Mike featuring Mike's Athletics at Ekman. I don't know what, like the other one, like the other forfeit, I don't know what happened here, but apparently Mike featuring Mike gets the forfeit win. Huh. Good thing, by the way, that Mike featuring Mike and Mike Madness aren't in the same division, because that would have been a bit confusing. We've got multiple Mikes. But either way, backwards caps fishes head over to George Benucci's Rangers. George keeps on rolling, 5-0. Next up, we have a low scoring one with Ben. Ben getting a win, or getting another win. We have, Ben Beth Beyond, Ben Rice fan getting the win, 1-0 against Uhode. With Uhode heading over to Ben Rice fans Monsters, and Ben getting the 1-0 victory. Nice. And for the last matchup of Week 9, we have Mr. Pants' Astros heading over to Wur's Diamondbacks. Wur's putting up 5 and holding down the Astros of Mr. Pants down to 1, again getting the 5-1 victory. Moving on to Week 10, the first matchup was a borderline blowout, although kind of not really. We have Theo Epstein's Twins heading over to Whooper's Pirates. Whooper continues to be undefeated. I think the only undefeated team so far. And Whooper getting the 5-0 victory against Theo Epstein's Twins. Whooper's Pirates doing good. After that, we have a close one. We have Jasmine's Wombats heading over to Bedou's Reds at Tin Can Alley. Bedou just barely edging out the victory, 3-2. Good win there. Unfortunately, the next two haven't been played yet, so I'm going to skip them. There's been quite a lot of games unplayed, unfortunately. Anyways, next up is Tuskheeler's Blue Jays heading over to Karisu's Phillies. Karisu doubling up the Blue Jays here, getting the 6-3 victory, doubling up Tuskheeler. Then we have Tristan's Cubs getting the win against Miki Momo's Cardinals, visiting the Cardinals at Playground Commons. Tristan winning 3-1. Just Tristan's a solid coach and just doing what solid coaches do. Next up, we have 3 unplayed games in a row. Unfortunately, Lillian's Orioles heading over to Honorable Mentions Mariners. Notorious Pun's Indians heading over to Matty Sam's Melonheads. Wurs Diamondbacks heading over to Yuho's Marlins. 3 unplayed games. It's a bit unfortunate, but I mean, just get your games in, guys. Anyways, moving on to the fourth game of the Front Yard League, which is one of the only 3 games that have been played. We have Ben Rice fans Monsters not being able to get it done against Mr. Pants Astros at Sandy Flats, with Ben Rice fans visiting. Although it was a close one though. Ben not getting it done, but not putting up a fight without getting it done, with Mr. Pants winning 4-5, just barely edging out the victory. Next up, we have a Mad Math student putting up a slight scare into George Banuki, but George gets it done. George's Rangers head over to Mad Math student's Bombers at Super Colossal, and George getting the 3-1 victory. Next up, we have a shutout with Mike versus Mike's Athletics. I want to point out, by the way, that Mike versus Mike is a substitute. I'll probably get more into this in the standings, but Mike versus Mike substituting for Brad, and Mike versus Mike unfortunately losing, getting shut out, as Mike versus Mike featuring Mike's Athletics head over to Backwards Caps Fishes at Tin Can Alley, and Backwards Caps gets the nice shutout. The 6-0 is obviously a solid win, regardless of the coach, and they get the shutout. So that's about it for the weeks themselves. Heading on to the standings, going to backyard to front yard. We have first place. We have Whooper dominating 11-0, probably on pace to go undefeated. Although there could be some teams that might put a dent to them. But next up in the other first round bye slot, we have Devil Dave's Devil Rays at 8-1. Unfortunately, they've got a game that still needs to be played, but still doing solid, 8-1. Then we have Bedoux's Reds at 8-2 at third. Then at fourth, we've got Tristan's Cubs at 8-2. Then at fifth, we have Andy Rue's Angels at 4-5. A big leap down, honestly, going from 8-2 to 4-5. But either way, the Angels are still in the playoffs, with Andy Rue's Angels being 4-5 at fifth place. Then at 4-6, we have Jasmine's Wombats at 4-6. Well, yeah, I just said that. But either way, they're at sixth place. Then right outside the playoffs, we got Theo Epstein's Twins at 4-6. Then we have Miki Momo's Cardinals at also 4-6. And then we have Karisu's Phillies at 4-7, right in the Playston Gauntlet area. Then we have Tuskheeler's Blue Jays at 3-7. 3 7-loss teams in a row here. Then we have in second to last, we've got Caden at 2-7, and then unfortunately at the end we've got poor Mike Madness at 1-8. Then when it comes to the front yard, we've got unfortunately quite a lot of unplayed games. As I said, like half of the week 10 matchups haven't been played. But either way, we've got Medisame's Melonheads at 8-1. Then at second place, we've got, for the second first round bye area, we have Mr. Pants Astros at 7-3. Then at third, we have Notorious Puns Indians at 6-3. Then at fourth, we've got Backwards Cap 2's Fishes at 6-4. Then we have Honorable Mentions Mariners at 5-4. Then we have George Banuki's Rangers making the comeback at 5-5. Then we have Yuho's Marlins right outside of the playoffs at seventh with a 4-5 record. Then at eighth, we have Lillian's Orioles at 4-5. Then once again right inside the the placed in gauntlet line, we have Mad Math Students Bombers at 3-7, Mike versus Mike featuring Mike's substituting for Brad Athletics at 3-8. Once again, Mike featuring Mike is a substitute, unfortunately, so they might need a bit of time to get in tune with their team, but it's still far from over, though. And then unfortunately, we have Ben Rice fan coming at the rear, 2-9, although they'd have a couple of more wins. Good on them. Once again, as I mentioned, they unfortunately have been struggling quite a bit, but seeing them win is always a good thing, man. So that's mainly it for the standings. Heading on to the league leaders. God dang. Lindsay Felgate with some absolutely dominating performance looking at it. She leads the league in hits. We're technically tied with Wally for leading the league in hits with 22. She leads the league in doubles with 9. She's in a 4-way tie for triples with second with 2. And she's in a 2-way tie for extra base hits for 14. Another one to look out for is Cheryl Reynolds with 10 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 17 runs scored respectively for leading the league in all 3 of those categories. Just big times numbers there. Once again, I'm not like the other sections. I'm not going to go over the negative stats and not put anyone on blast. As for the other stuff, Pablo Sanchez and Marcellus Marks also having good stats, with Marcellus having tied with Lindsay for the best batting average at 0.667, and also having the best on base percentage, whereas Pablo Sanchez has the best slugging percentage at 1.813 and the best on base plus slugging percentage at 2.479, and Cheryl has the most amount of runs created at 36. Once again, this seems to be another just Cheryl show, as Cheryl has just been great. Moving on to the pitching side, seems like there's some more faces here, with Chris Milton having the least amount of runs and hits allowed, with 35 hits allowed, which is the lowest amount when compared to Omar Stefano with 36 at second, and then only 5 runs allowed when compared to Christina Beatty's 8 at second. So he's doing good. Some other good ones over there are people like Diana with the most amount of Ks. Chris is also leading the league in both ERA and WHIP, the lowest of those two, as he has a 0.68 ERA, which is a good bit better than second place Christina Beatty's 1.04 ERA, and although he isn't as dominating in the WHIP area or percentage, as he has a 0.93 WHIP, which is just barely better than Fernando Diaz's 0.95 WHIP. And as for some of the other stats, once again, I'm not going to look over the negative stuff. So, and no one's pitched a perfect game. And that's about it. That's all 3 weeks covered for weeks 9 and 10. Once again, a big shout out to MontagnaMagica for hopping on to here for the HL section. But the other way, I think it's time to wrap it up. This is your host, CRK, signing out. Hope you guys have a good day and or night. And, well, hope to catch you guys next time. Goodbye.